What is up, YouTube? This is DFS Star Throws in Cash. I am going to go over the Monday night game, the Showdown slate. We had a cash lineup that I had given you, and it had cashed pretty well. So ended up getting around 133 points. This is my tournament lineup. I didn't put any cash lineups in. I was running kind of low on funds, so I just threw some Millie Maker lineups in. And yeah, I ended up with Travis Kelsey as my captain, Patrick Mahomes, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Daniel Carlson, and Noah Gray. And the lineup I had given y'all for cash, it had Daniel Carlson as the captain, and it had Kelsey, Mahomes, Adams, Renfrow, and then the other kicker, Matt Wright. And that ended up getting you around 133 points. That would have made you cash in the Millie Maker. That would have made you cash in pretty much every other double up. So, yeah, good shit. That was a fun game to watch, except for the roughing the passer calls. Yeah, I mean, the NFL just needs to be more consistent with the way they call those plays. I mean, Mahomes got thrown down pretty hard as well, and they didn't call a flag on that. So, yeah, it was a little suspect of a game. So, I don't know. Hopefully, they can work on just figuring out how to make those calls and be consistent with them. Anyway, let's move on to this Thursday night game tonight, and I have a cash lineup for y'all. I just put in one lineup so far, so this is gonna be it. The point total is 37 and a half, I want to say, and then the Redskins are favored by 1 point to win. So I think Commanders. I keep doing that. Yeah, so I think the Commanders are going to win by a significant amount. I don't think it's really going to be as close as what they say it's going to be on the Vegas line. I think the Bears D it's okay, but their offense is just non-existent. The Redskins D is not too shabby. It should actually be a pretty high-scoring game compared to the point total. Yeah, so basically, this is my setup for this game. I think that the Bears pretty much only have one player that is going to score a lot, and that's David Montgomery. Justin Fields will probably run the ball a few times, but I think that he's not getting great value at that price range. David Montgomery killed it last game. The Commanders' run D is not good. So I think having David Montgomery in the lineup is going to be better than Justin Fields. Carson Wentz is going to be in our captain spot. He's been hit or miss, but in this cash setting, we want a relatively low floor. He has had a couple low games, but against the Bears D, I do not see him putting up 10 points. His upside is 30-ish points, and we are going to be stacking him in the captain spot along with Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Diami Brown. So Diami Brown had a great game last week, and that was with Dotson out. Dotson was just ruled out again with that hamstring, and then so Diami Brown's dealing with a groin issue, but he should play. If he doesn't, I would pivot to somebody like, I don't know, Cam Sims, and then maybe pay up for Justin Fields instead of Terry McLaurin or something like that. Yeah, or just grab a kicker instead. Honestly, I probably shouldn't be fading these kickers. Cairo Santos could be a decent pick rather than Diami Brown, but it's up to you. It's up to you guys. And then, I stacked him with McLaurin, Samuel. So McLaurin has not had that great of a season so far, but he's been getting the targets. He is the wide receiver one. His floor is low, but I don't think that he's going to have a 3.5 fantasy game against the Bears. I mean, the Cowboys have a great D, and in pretty much every other game, he's put up at least 12 fantasy points. So hopefully we get at least 12 out of him. And then Curtis Samuel, he seems like he's getting the most targets out of all the Commanders. He's commanding the most targets. I'm sorry, my internet is slow or something, or DraftKings is just slow. Yeah, so he's got 11, 9, 10, 7, and 8 targets. So he's consistently getting a ton of targets. I think, honestly, if you want to throw him in your captain spot and a Millie Maker lineup, that might be the best bet. And then, yeah, Nikhil Harry, he was on the Patriots before. He was pretty decent, to be honest. He just got put up from, like, off the practice squad. He got signed off the practice squad, and his ankle was injured before, but he's good to go now. I think he'll have some involvement in the offense, and at $200, I think he's going to be very high owned, just because if he catches literally one pass, he pays for himself essentially. So yeah, that's my lineup. There. Let me do a different lineup just so y'all can look. Like, we could kind of emulate what we did last week. Throw Santos in the captain spot because we know he's gonna at least have like 8 fantasy points. So it's kind of like a guaranteed like low value kicker for the captain spot, and I think that could be pretty good. And then you could go Curtis Samuel, David Montgomery, because those are the two guys that are going to be scoring the most on each team. At least that's how I feel. Brian Robinson, I mean, he came back from that gunshot injury. I'm not very high on him. I mean, he had 9 carries for what, like 20 yards or something last game. I mean, it's cool. Like, he came back from that shooting and then he's like playing and stuff. But other than that, like, I really don't see the hype. I think Antonio Gibson's going to remain the number one. He's a good running back, man. Like, I really think he's like a pretty decent running back. So if you wanted to, since it's a low point total, you could go Antonio Gibson as well, just to throw those 2 running backs in. And then, honestly, what I would like to do is grab Carson Wentz, and then we could go Diami Brown or Joey Sly or something like that. And that could be a decent cash lineup. I would probably prefer Joey Sly because we've been doing 2 kickers, and honestly, like, I think the kickers are way undervalued in these lineups. So yeah, Curtis Samuel, David Montgomery, Antonio Gibson, Carson Wentz. That's a decent lineup for like the game script of low points, because if there's not gonna be that many points, they're gonna be running the ball. They're gonna be running the ball. They're gonna be running the ball, running the clock down. So that's how you get a low scoring game. If they're gonna be passing and being successful with the pass, the point total would be way higher than 37.5. So honestly, I might even like this lineup a little bit better than the other one. But it's up to you, whichever one you want to do. There's plenty of good lineups that you can kind of switch some things around. Like, maybe instead of, let's say, instead of Gibson, you could throw Justin Fields in, just if you want exposure to the quarterbacks and you really want a low floor. I mean, Justin Fields' floor is pretty freaking low, but he does run the ball. I mean, he runs like at least 30, like 40 yards some games, and he's been tackled on the 1 yard line trying to get in the end zone. Wow, he had a 118 passer rating last game, but yeah, 27-43. It's not very good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd probably rather go with Gibson than Fields there. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, man. Pick one of the 2 lineups and whichever one you like best, or make your own. Yeah, quick discussion about this Thursday night game. Hopefully it's not as bad as last Thursday nights. I don't think it can get much worse. At least, like, we know these teams are trash going into it, rather than expecting something good. Because the Broncos and the Colts, man, like, those are like pretty decent teams, at least like in the eyes of the fans. So it was really rough to see how crappy that game was. Yeah, I guess Russ came out with that injury, like his lat is partially torn, so maybe that's like been affecting him. Matt Ryan really has no excuse, but yeah, let's see what happens this Thursday night game, and yeah, thank you for watching.